Now,
Yeah.
let's get into UFC Baku. Let's recap this card. Let's also provide some next matches for some guys who picked up some big wins and one guy who picked up a big L, unfortunately. But let's start off with the bottom of the card here. Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. So we both originally picked Naimov on the podcast. I ended up actually taking the value on the betting line on Bogdan Grad. So I was hoping he'd get it done.
Bogdan's a warrior.
I do think Bogdan had the right approach though. Like I think he was doing pretty good. Especially like second round, he looked really solid. But the problem is he's too small for featherweight. I think that's my issue. Like he's so small to the point where he can't make like any big mistakes on the ground. Like in that third round when Naimov reversed position on him and Bogdan Grad just couldn't get up from there. Like when he shot that
takedown, like he was just holding him down. He wasn't even doing anything.
Right. So when Grad shot that takedown, I was like, okay, just be careful because Naimov could literally just reverse you and it's over. And that's literally what happened. Yep. But I mean, in terms of a next matchup for Naimov, he did end up getting it done. It was a good win. It was pretty much exactly like how I thought he'd do it.
Yep.
How about Sean Woodson? This is a guy that just lost to Dan Ige, which questionable stoppage, but
yes, questionable.
I think Naimov is like one really good win away from the rankings, and I think Sean Woodson would be that quality win that he needs. And you look at featherweight. I mean, like, I really don't know who else. Like, I think there's like quite a few contenders, but I think that just stuck out as a big one because I also want to see like how is Woodson going to use the size and reach to his advantage because Naimov loves to point fight. Yeah, but how is he going to do that against Sean Woodson? So it'd force him to adjust on the fly, think of new ways to win, and ultimately expand his game further. So I would love to see Muhammad Naimov versus Sean Woodson. I think that would be a good next matchup for him.
That would be a good fight. Yeah. I mean, Sean the Sniper Woodson, he's extremely lengthy and tall for the division. He's hard to track down and really get to unless you really just go in the pocket and make it a phone booth fight. But Naimov, yeah, he was impressive today. Bogdan Grad was, like we said on the podcast 2 days ago, going to be relentless, apply forward pressure at all times, swing with reckless abandonment, try and catch him. And even like I mentioned about Naimov, I said, he's not the best grappler, and Bogdan, I definitely succeeded in that department. But like you said, he is small for the division, and that actually could be why he lost the fight. I think
also Naimov's frame is like way bigger than his, which is why when he got top control abs, like Bogdan is not getting out of this.
Right? Yeah, Naimov's a little. His frame is bigger. He's a little leaner, and I think that if Bogdan had that extra size, he would have been winning those exchanges and those exchanges on the in the clinch on the fence. Excuse me. I think that Naimov did do a good job of point fighting, but. Excuse me, like I said to the podcast, I'm going on a tangent here. He gets in situations where someone rushes in with reckless abandonment, shoots a takedown, they actually win the exchange, and then somehow he ends up on top.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to see. I just don't understand how that happens. Almost every time for specifically him. But, I mean,
it's the frame. I'm telling you, it's the frame.
It might be his bigger frame. But I think it was an impressive performance today. I don't think he should get a ranked shot. He did call for a top 15 opponent, which rightfully so. He's been performing 2 wins in a row now after his submission loss to Felipe Lima in 2024 last year. I think that for me, I would match him up against William Gomis. I think Gomis lost a close split decision to Haider Emil. That was a great fight. I think that Gomis, he's very good defensively. He has, I believe in his past few fights, his opponents haven't even landed 30 significant strikes on him. And for someone who likes to point fight, that'll really make you walk into the fire to go get those points and try and tag him. Because obviously, Naimov isn't the best wrestler, and I don't think that's his path to victory in many of his fights. I think that he's a good striker, and he should keep it standing. And I think that William Gomis presents a great challenge of defensive prowess that will make Naimov go into those deeper waters and really try and find the finish. So I would say that. And, the kind of matches up there in their last 5 or 6, I believe. They've only lost once. I believe it's their past 6. They're both 5-1. So I think that would be nice to see someone get back on track. And hey, that could be 2 losses in a row for Gomis. That could push him back down and open up some other room in a stacked division. Bottom of featherweight's pretty stacked. So we'll see.
I'm not mad at that at all. I think the general consensus here is Muhammad Naimov 1 fight away from getting that ranked opportunity. But we both want to see him be tested in like different ways.
Yes.
So I think that test is coming up real soon, and that'll determine whether he's ready for the big leagues or not. Yes. Moving on. One of the best fights of the year, Nazim Sadykhov versus Nicholas Mata.
Banger alert. That was
absolute banger. So much of a banger that Dana White made them fight of the night and gave them both performance bonuses as well. So both of them made $100K. Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Mata definitely made that a closer fight than the odds suggested, which we also we're calling this stuff in the predictions. Like, go watch our predictions video.
Go watch the Baku predictions 2 days
like
ago.
Mata was more than just a puncher's chance. Like, the guy is so stocky and explosive. Like, we all saw this ending in a finish. Either way it went, we knew both guys were gonna go out swinging, and that's what they did. Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. I don't know what the live odds were actually after round 1, because Mata, did he drop Sadykhov in that first round? I think he had him wobble.
And then Sadykhov came right back and was applying a bunch of pressure on him.
Yeah, Mata tried the Hyder Emil 38-piece special, and he ended up gassing
himself out, and then he got caught. Yeah, dude, Nazim is awesome, and congratulations to him winning in his home country as well.
One of his best finishes to date. Like, that was, I think that actually probably was his best finish today. Like, that was incredible.
1000%. He's had some good finishes too. His sub over Terrence McKinney, the Evan Elder fight as well. Even his last fight. I'm blanking. It's been a long day, but I'm blanking on who Nazim just finished by doctor stoppage. But
why am I blinking too?
Yeah, right. Let's do a quick research check on that, so I'm not.
And in the meantime, I do have to say, with Nazim's performance,
Ishmael Bonfim.
Yeah, there you go. I knew it was a Bonfim. I was like, is it Gabriel or is I was like, yeah, it's
Ishmael Bonfim, and that was a good fight as well. But dude, Nazim, insane. Good for him, man. He's really on a fast track to the rankings, and I could really see him putting on a great performance and a great fight with someone else who was on the main card, someone who lost, Ignacio Bahamondes.
That's a banger.
I think that would be an awesome fight. That was Bahamondes' fight against Fiziev to get into the rankings. And you know what? He probably should have been after submitting Jalen Turner, going on a 3-fight win streak. But I think this is a perfect get-right moment for Bahamondes, and I think this is a perfect moment, an opportunity for Nazim to show that he's legit and he can strike with the best, and he's powerful too. And he has the submissions. He really might be the total package. His fight against Vyacheslav Borshev, Slavaklaus.
No, Slavaklaus.
Yeah, that was a war. That was a war.
It was.
And I think Nazim, he's the total package right now.
I think the key difference in this fight was the elbows.
Yes.
Nazim's elbows are ridiculous, and he's been using them a lot in his recent fights. I think that's going to be like his most dangerous weapon moving forward, because the way he times it, and elbows are brutal, man. Like, in general, like, imagine getting elbowed in the face. Like, I'd hate that. Like,
it's like the elbow, but it's also the end of the forearm. So it's
especially if it like that's a broken orbital, just like waiting to happen.
It's broken everything. I'm out. I'm done. Down for the count. I would, even if I wasn't out, I would verbally submit, tap out. No, thank you. But you know what's funny? The elbow, you speak about the elbows. like we said, if you go back to the last podcast and watch, I said one of my favorite fights and finishes of all time was Manuel Torres elbowing Mota on the entry, which Nazim was trying to do. And clearly he watched that fight like I said he should have, because that
Hey, the fighters do their film study, we do our film study too.
Exactly.
This is what we do. It's the war room.
It's the war room. Yeah, you need that strategy, but he was executing it perfectly, and they're just so impactful, man. It was I didn't know how Mota was standing at a point, and then
I mean, Mota's tough. He's so tough.
Yeah,
like hanging in there. He's always been a part of bangers, but the fact he was able to hang in there, especially against a guy like
bonus. Every second bonuses.
100%. But you know, it's funny because the way I was looking for Sadykhov is, yes, he's still undefeated, and you know he should be like one away from a ranked win.
Yep.
But I think instead of him fighting up, I want to put him in another fun fight, another striking battle. And I looked like pretty deep, like into the unranked pool for this. But how about a guy like Kaue Fernandez, a guy that's also surging in his own right? He beat Guram Kutateladze, which is a great win. Obviously, not that many fights on his record in the UFC, but we look at the stylistic matchup here. I mean, this is a banger. Like
that was a deep pull, Srikar. That was a good one.
Like I feel like him. Like you have two kind of. I mean, Kaue is more of like a long range striker, but I mean he pieced up Guram Kutateladze, and that's made me interested. Like, have these guys who are both surging fight each other. You know, it's another kind of proving grounds moment for Sadykhov. But if you beat Fernandez, like, I feel like that's no holds barred from a ranked shot. Like, I think you get a ranked opportunity after that, especially if he goes out there and finishes Fernandez. Like, he is going to fly up. Like, he is going to get a really good fight. So I love the Ignacio pick. But it's just the way I was looking. Like, I don't think you can go wrong with him fighting down or fighting up. But I think you have to put him in like a fun fight. Like, add to his highlight reel. I think that's the one thing with like these prospects now. You have to keep adding to the highlight reel. Like, keep slow playing these guys, and then give them like a really, really tough shot.
Yep, you put them in positions to become fan favorites. That's how the UFC does it. And hey, for the most part, it works.
And they did it here, you know, having him get this finish in his home crowd of Baku, like perfect opportunity for him, and he capitalized.
Yeah, it was very, 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 very impressive.
All right, we move up the card.
Also, wait, quick name though.
Yes.
What about Esteban Ribovics?
That'd be a banger too. This is a good thing about lightweight, right? Lightweight has so many guys where you just match up any two of them, ranked or unranked, and you're like, okay, this is a banger. And I'm not mad at it, you know?
Well, I was going to say, even Tafik Musayev, but I don't know if you could put two Azerbaijanis up against each other.
Like Musayev versus Sadykhov? Nah, I don't know if you could do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, but that would be a war, because that would be just two strikers going at it.
100%. Like, I think that would produce a finish as well. Like, man, lightweight is stacked. And now you bring in Musayev, which, good segue, Myktybek Orolbai versus Tofik Musayev.
Yes.
I got to say, man, Orolbai is a scary dude. He is really scary dude. Tofik Musayev always brings that wild, I'm trying to get an early knockout kind of style.
Rightfully so. He's very good at it. 18 wins by knockout.
And I still think Tofik is going to be a lot of fun. Like, I think he's a great guy for the UFC. Obviously, this is, you know, a lifelong dream for him. Like, he made a promise to his father that he was going to fight in the UFC. He accomplished that dream. Win or lose, we applaud him nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of great ways to go for Musayev. Like, I think, dude, if you put him in a fight with like a Drew Dober, or like, you know, give him like a fun lightweight fight, like, that would be crazy. But
your granite chin.
But the problem is, you gave Musayev a grappler. And one, he doesn't have a good history with grapplers, but two, he walked in that octagon as if he didn't game plan for it at all. Like, I feel like the takedowns definitely caught Musayev by surprise. Like, he did defend the first one really well, where he was just kind of hanging in the air. Really good balance there. But as soon as Orolbai kept the pace going, that's where Tofik kind of withered a little bit.
The switch like flipped. You could almost see it.
Right. And I don't think that Tofik had a good game plan going into this fight. That's really all it is. But for Myktybek Orolbai, I mean, the guy literally just walks forward into the fire, doesn't care what you throw at him. Like, even in that Rebecca fight, like, you have to throw the entire kitchen sink at this guy to even have a slight chance of getting him out of there.
Yeah, it still doesn't even work.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Fall on his face.
Yeah, like, he fights through literally anything. But I mean, this guy is moving his way through the division. I think it's about time you give him a grappler. Like, he's had a lot of fights recently with just pure strikers. So how about this? Let's do Myktybek Orolbai versus a guy who just recently got a submission win in the Apex, Jordan Levitt. Let's see him beat a tried and true grappler who's going to go to the ground with you, who's going to match you on the ground, who can keep pushing that pace with you. And you look, this is another prove-it fight for Orolbai. Like, it's not a shot up. You're still fighting down. But I think Orolbai needs a test like this. Like, I think, and also I think Levitt needs a test like this. Like, I think it's a good test for both sides.
Okay.
I just think you have to give Orolbai a grappler. Like, you can't have him in another striking battle because then you're just pushing him further and further along. You don't know what you're getting. If you put him in a matchup with a grappler, I think you have a better idea of, okay, is this guy
like where his striking actually is at? Yeah, right. Like, is that kind of the way you're going?
Yeah, like, you've given him the striking matches already. Like, put him against a grappler. Let's just see how he does.
Yeah, no. I mean, so what I'm saying or alluding to is, so I mean, the grappling would negate each other, so it would force him to show kind of what else he has.
I don't know if they would engage in the stand-up as much if there's the opportunity for, like, a bunch of scrambles. Like, I think this would be a very scramble-heavy fight.
Okay, but you want to see him take on primary grappler.
Yeah,
I think I could agree with that because I mean, after what we just saw, although Tofik really didn't look too well versed in the grappling department, Myktybek just absolutely dominated that. There's no question about that. Very impressive. I was thinking, someone that he could fight is Andreas Gustafsson. We just saw Andreas Gustafsson beat Chaos Williams in a dominant, grueling grappling match. If that's the grappling match that you want, I think that.
But I think that was more of like a clinch match.
Yes, but I think that. Well, we could see. I mean, look, takedowns can turn into scrambles on the fence. So
it could.
What Gustafsson's at takedown defense wise, I think that could be very interesting. They're both very physically imposing.
Yeah.
So.
And by the way, we forgot to do this, but we usually spotlight one fighter on the prelims. Quick shout out to Jun Young Park.
Yes,
just real quick. He really
walked through hell and back.
I think if any of those decisions deserve like a performance bonus to one guy, I think Jun Young Park should have gotten it. The guy battled through a couple of eye pokes and an illegal knee.
And a knee to the left eye. Ooh. What's happening? So yeah, those balloons were for Jun Young Park to celebrate and congratulate him on a great performance. I thought he was done. I thought it should have been a DQ. When the doctor came in, I said, stop the fight. He can't see. And honestly, when he went back in, I don't think anyone was too sure that he could actually see. He was just saying he could see.
Yeah. That's why I tweeted out. I was like, okay, the guy literally said he can't see out of his eye. So why did the doctor just clear?
They did give him more time though, because that was a minute or two before the end of the 5 minutes. So they gave him a little bit of time, which I'm sure helped. But he was 100% compromised going back into the fight against Ismail Nuradiev. I think that he should have got a performance bonus too, just for what he had to deal with and having the toughness to go back out there and absolutely. The last round could have been a 10-8.
Yeah.
10-8.
It could have been a 10-8. I think it was a 10-8 actually.
Yeah.
I know one judge scored it for him because it made it a 29-25.
Yes.
But the rare 10-7 came out, actually.
Yeah, I mean, shout out the judge for taking 2 points because, I mean, 3 fouls, terrible fouls too, compromising fouls. That was definitely worth 2 points. Never seen a three-pointer, though. I really don't want to see a three-pointer.
I don't know what it's going to take for a three-pointer.
Yeah, just for the sake of any fighter, I never want to see a three-pointer.
I think a three-pointer is just an automatic DQ. Like, yes. I don't think it gets beyond 2. Because 2 is like that's
that's what I'm saying. It should have been
2 means you've automatically lost the round. So like that basically puts you in a bad position because it's either 10-7 or it's 9-8. You've lost either way. Like you would genuinely just need a finish at that point, which I was scared of. When Park hopped back in that fight, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna get finished. But man, the Iron Turtle proved me wrong, and he put up a great performance. Another guy that I wouldn't say put up the best performance, but let's talk about Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev. This was an interesting one, obviously for us, because obviously we have our we have our little discussions about
we have our past history with this specific matchup.
Yeah, but
shout out Terrence Murphy.
Yes, shout out to Terrence. Obviously, we had him on in predictions. Go check it out. But here's one thing that I came away with. I'm still not impressed by Rizvan Kuniev. Like, I don't think he was overly, like, insane. Like, there's nothing that he really...
He was piecing up Curtis a little bit.
He was. I think that second round was a good display of his striking, but he definitely got out-wrestled in round 1. Even when he was striking, he was just kind of throwing haymakers. Like, it was very Ankalaev-esque, kind of, but with a little less technical proficiency on it. Like, the way...
I could see that. Yeah, Ankalaev's a more technical striker, but it's kind of just being, like, flung out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, there'd be times where Rizvan would just wait, and then he'd just snap. You know, he'd just snap the jab out, or he would, you know, have a 1-2. Like, pretty basic stuff. Which wasn't done overly well, but it still caught Curtis. So, you know, there you go. But Rizvan Kuniev is not a title threat. Like, I just don't think he, I mean, especially we just talked about Tom Aspinall. Like, Tom Aspinall would wipe the floor with Rizvan Kuniev. So even if it did come to the point where Kuniev did get that decision in his favor, which I thought he would, there wouldn't have been anything to worry about there necessarily. But it was a Curtis Blaydes fight. Like, it was a try. It was the classic Curtis Blaydes performance. You know, someone with solid takedown defense in Rizvan Kuniev. He held up for the most part. Kuniev landed some big shots, obviously, in that second round. But again, like, I just don't think I was overly impressed. I don't know where I would go with Curtis Blaydes, though. I hope you have an answer, because I mean,
where do you go with Curtis Blaydes? It was a good performance. I would have liked to see him do a little bit better. I would have liked to see a little more of a commanding win that didn't lead to a split decision. Obviously, when you put it in the judge's hands, never know what's going to come out of that. But, you know, solid performance. He held his own. He was working his boxing, and like you said, Kuniev's takedown defense did hold up for the most part. Believe he was definitely over 80%, 100%. But Curtis was winning the exchanges of controlling along the fence, and I think that's where Kuniev kind of lost some of his mojo, or what like he. I think if Kuniev was able to, you know, get some underhooks, get some underhooks, reverse, I think that he could have had a more favorable outlook from the judges at the end. But in my opinion, Curtis Blaydes should be fighting someone at the top. Like, he proved that he should be at the top.
He technically defended his number 5 spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could just... It's so hard. I think you could just give him Volkov. Because if Volkov's not going to get the title shot, I really think that it's going to be Gan Aspinall. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Especially because they've never fought before, and Aspinall has fought much of the division. I'd just say give him Volkov. Why not? What else is there to do? Do you give him Jailton Almeida again? He already knocked out Jailton Almeida or TKO'd him.
Well, Well, here's the thing. Curtis Blaydes called out Cyril Gane in the post fight. And if you really think about it, neither Cyril Gane or Curtis Blaydes like really has a strong mandate to a title shot. So you got to have some sort of backup option for Aspinall if he wants to stay active. But I'm going to say Curtis Blaydes should fight Cyril Gane. Like,
I mean, that would be a great clash of styles. Pure
and they haven't fought each other. Like,
you saw we saw what happened last time Gane faced a good wrestler in John Jones.
Could you imagine the scenes if they set up? What if they just set up Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev 2?
Well, like we talked about in the previous podcast, the UFC clearly wanted to see this fight. They booked it 3 times.
What did they want to see it again?
And, hey, they definitely saw something. I said I thought that they saw something in this matchup. It was a split decision, so another judge also saw what the UFC was seeing. I mean, hey, it wasn't a bad fight. Like it wasn't a fight that you walk away or go get a drink or something and come back in the middle.
But it's not a fight you go back to actively.
Yes, I wouldn't say it's a fight that I'm over eager to watch again, but I think that it was a solid performance. They were getting into it a little bit, and it was just heavyweight. It was heavyweights being heavyweights, and heavyweights come with the expectation of a finish.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it was a hard fought win. But hey, you know what? If Aspinall doesn't fight Gane Blaydes in France.
Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense. And it could change how both guys are perceived because they're both coming off wins that were seen as potential robberies. Yep. And now you look at like who's going to be the guy that proves himself and really lays that strong claim to a title shot because heavyweight is in a really, really funky spot right now. So maybe this could clear up some of the air. Next up.
A big day for heavyweights. Big day.
It was. Shout out to Mo Usman as well, who got a win on the prelims. Looked good against the Handman.
Hammer. Yeah, Abdullah.
He looked good too. But
that was a good
another guy that looked good though. Shout out to Rafael Fiziev, man. Let's talk about that Fiziev Bahamondes fight.
Fiziev, trust.
I took Bahamondes on the podcast, but I think it was the next day or maybe it was this morning. I don't really remember. I changed my pick to Fiziev. Like very slyly.
I can attest. He did.
Very, very slyly, like very, very cheeky. I switched my pick to Fiziev, but I'm a man of my word. If I say something on the podcast, I have the visual receipts. Like we kept Bahamondes for pick's sake. I did not have a clean sweep. Like I missed on that technically, but look, man, I think Fiziev took the first and the second round, close rounds, but I think Fiziev, the way he was going to win was working the pocket. Which we all broke down that Fiziev Bahamondes fight beautifully. Go check out predictions.
Had to be a phone booth fight.
Yeah, he literally made it a phone booth fight, kept ripping the body every single time Ignacio would come close. And I also think Ignacio had a little tell where like he would throw like a spinning kick every time he kind of moved his feet around. And I think Fiziev kind of caught on to that, which again, smart adjustment by Fiziev. But that's what he does. Like he knows the game within the game so well. Like this guy is a guy that like teaches other people Muay Thai, like other UFC fighters Muay Thai. Yeah. So like the guy is good. Like the guy is so technically proficient, and he did a great job just timing Bahamondes' kicks. He got takedowns on Bahamondes, avoided the triangle, escaped the potential submission opportunities that Bahamondes was trying to create. Yep. And overall, just the striking looked great. I think the third round was the closest round, but I still think I'd give it to Fiziev because, again, he just did what he implemented what he did in the first 2 rounds and ended with, him going for the takedowns, coming back up, getting more leg strikes.
It was a very impressive performance.
But Bahamondes did great too. It's Fiziev. Like it's a tough matchup, and I guess the good news is Bahamondes, he didn't really take much damage. So I think you could turn him around rather quickly, but a great win for Fiziev for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, like I said about Nazim, And also, I mean, even though Tafik lost, but still, fighting in your home country is special. Excuse me. Especially, Fiziev in the spot he was at in his career, just lost to he lost 3 in a row. Gaethje, Gamrot, and Gaethje.
Mhm.
And coming back from an injury, that was definitely special for him. I said it was a get back fight. I knew it was going to be a bounce back fight for him. It was like a perfect storm almost. And I think that his future is looking interesting. I also think for the Gaethje fight, going back to the fight in the phone booth, Gaethje is so good at also fighting in a phone booth and having exchanges like that I think that's where Fiziev kind of got caught up in. And you can't fight another phone booth fighter in the phone booth, especially when you guys are just willing to throw with everything you have and just knock each other out cold. I think with the lengthier fighters, that's definitely your easiest path to victory. Just negate the length, and that's what Fiziev did. And he's just so powerful, man. When he rips those body kicks, oh my god, they're thundering.
Like you can hear them.
Yes.
Like on the broadcast, you could hear it slap on his on the body. Like
it's just, oh my gosh, it hurts me watching it and hearing it. I feel it. It's terrible. But yeah, he's awesome, and for his future, I could see a few things. I could see a rematch with Gamrot. I think that, him going down with an injury, definitely, I think it could have played out different.
Yeah.
But it's a good test because it's a good striker and / grappler against Mateusz Gamrot, who is just absolutely perfectly inclined on getting everything to the ground and just coming at you with everything he has, full speed ahead. It's just, he's relentless, and Fiziev's also relentless. So I really want to see. I would love to see a fight night main event of Fiziev and Gamrot. Give them a 5-rounder. I want to see
like last time.
Yep, exactly. Like it should be exactly like last time, and we'll really see who will come out on top, because it'll definitely be interesting, because Fiziev has the power to knock him out, and Gamrot has the gas tank to go forever. So
I'd like that, like on paper.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think Gamrot is fighting BSD on the Paris fight night. I think they're going to set that up.
Ooh, that would be a good fight, though.
So with Gamrot being out, I just don't think there is like a clear-cut fight for Rafael Fiziev at lightweight. Like
if that happens, I have backups.
What's your backup? Let's hear it.
Winner of Dariush Moicano. Ooh, we got a thumbs up right there. The screen likes it.
Yeah, I could wait, you're saying the winner of it?
Yeah, winner of Dariush Moicano. Or you more inclined to pick the loser? Say the loser.
Yeah, I might say the loser, because the winner would want to fight up, and if whoever wins between Dariush and Moicano, they're going to be at a higher rank spot than Rafael Fiziev. They're not going to want to fight down against a guy like that.
Depending on when he comes back from injury.
And also Fiziev's already fought Moicano, I believe.
Did they fight Moicano? Did he fight Moicano?
I think so.
It's late. I have to double check everything.
No, yeah, it's definitely late for us, but I think he did fight Moicano. But anyway, I think if lightweight doesn't have like the right fight for him, I'd say just move down to featherweight. Like, he's wanted to do it before. He literally bulks up to 155. If you guys don't know, like,
it's crazy because he is ripped.
Yeah, but like on fight night, like he's literally bulking up to 155. Like, he doesn't do any sort of weight cut at all for lightweight. So I think a move down to featherweight would actually be good for him, especially size-wise. The size difference, as good as Fiziev looked in this fight, the size difference was jarring. Like, Bomb Mundez looked way bigger than Rafael Fiziev. So in that case, if you're asking me about what fight I'd like to see between Rafael Fiziev at featherweight and whoever else, I think there's so many bangers for Fiziev. Like, I'd give him maybe like an Arnold Allen would be fun. Like, because Arnold Allen doesn't have an opponent right now.
Yeah, he needs a fight.
Like, try out 145. Like, just see what happens there. The last time Allen fought a lightweight moving down, it was Dan Hooker, and he won by TKO first round. I'd be interested to see how Fiziev does.
Fiziev in lightweight.
What was that?
That's who else I was thinking for Fiziev in lightweight, depending on when he comes back from injury.
Oh, Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
That would be that would be such a
that would be a dog fight. Dog fight.
Would Dan Hooker accept a fight against Rafael Fiziev?
I think he's a warrior. I think he would take anything.
Yeah, he probably would, but I don't know.
One of my favorite.
I would try out 145 as a potential one-off. Just see how it is.
I like where you're going with that, though. Yeah, because if he did cut back and he was bigger for the division and more powerful than he already is, which is somehow hard to believe, yeah, that could be great for his future.
And if Allen goes out there and just like starches him, then it's like, all right, back up to 155. Like you at least try and like toy with it, like experiment with it, because he's wanted to do it before. We know his weight situation. Why not? Why not? I think it makes sense, especially considering, especially considering the size. But we have our picks. Moving on to the main event. My guy, Khalil Rountree. What an absolute masterclass, man.
Stamp on it, dog.
Like that was really a prove-it fight for Rountree coming off the Pereira fight. Everyone's like, oh, how will this guy fare against other top contenders? Because maybe Pereira was just a one-off. I told y'all, I was like, this guy is different. This guy literally like made changes. Like ever since like a few years ago, he's totally like reworked his whole fighting style.
Oh yeah.
And man, he looked good. Like
that wasn't a demolition finish that I thought it would be, but
it was still demolition.
His performance was demolition at its finest. Every time he hit Jamahal Hill, it was just like, oh my goodness, how are you still standing?
Yeah.
He literally he actually cranks back so far with every punch that he throws, all his overhands, all his hooks. I'm surprised he doesn't pull a back muscle.
And it all came down to the low kicks.
Yes.
I mentioned in our predictions that he had to go forward with the leg kicks. He didn't do it against Pereira. If he did it against Pereira, look, I still think he could have won that fight by finish because Pereira would have left an opening after all those leg kicks. He was hammering that lead leg of Jamahal Hill.
I think that, that was great by Hill.
And I think this is a performance where it's like, okay, like this guy's legit. Like this guy is going to be, a top 5 guy for however long it is. Like I obviously would have liked to see a finish, but I have no problem with him proving that like, hey, I'm a 5-round fighter. I can last. I can go the distance. I'm not going to empty the gas tank, because what he truly grew from that Pereira experience. Like I think we saw that on full display. And I think next up, like, I think it's another, like he's kind of proved it here. But Ankalaev is going to fight Pereira. Yuri Prohaska is going to fight Carlos Olberg. So I don't think he can fight up necessarily, but he could fight in the same vicinity, like where he is right now. And Dominic Reyes is on a 3-fight knockout streak. I bet that this fight will be one where all the UFC fans are just going to be rooting for Dom Reyes. But hey, I'd love to see this fight on pay-per-view. Do Rountree versus Reyes. I think this would be like a good one for maybe early 2025, late 2024. Maybe in Vegas.
Like absolute demolition.
Like war. Like this is going to be a war.
Get knocked out in that. Someone will 1000% get knocked out in that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that fight. Make that fight.
Like, I think it has that, like, because Dominic Reyes obviously just slumped Nikita Krylov. And if you go into this fight, and if he beats Rountree, they might fast track him to a title shot. Like
they should. But the thing is, it's not even fast tracking. He deserves it.
Yeah, but he lost 4 times in a row, and he got finished.
That is true. But he's bounced back beautifully. He's showing us the Dominic Reyes that, dare I say it, could beat John Jones. Could it beat John Jones?
That did beat John Jones. Let's say it how it is.
I didn't say it.
But
Let's
no,
direct the
Reyes
show
is
to
back.
the
Roundtree is surging. Like, I think this is a fight to make, especially because the entire top 5 is like already kind of accounted for. So
Yeah.
I think it makes the most sense. But for Jamahal Hill, who was the loser of this main event, I think you feed him to Azamat Murzakanov. Simple as that.
Azamat is so good.
Azamat wants a fight up. I know when we did our 316 matchmaking, I mentioned, or I don't know if we ever mentioned a fight for him, but I know the general consensus was people wanted him to fight Volkan Oezdemir. And that would be a good test. You know, Volkan Oezdemir is like the light heavyweight gatekeeper, essentially.
Right.
But I just think there's so much more intrigue by giving him to Jamahal Hill. Like, because we're going to get a better sense of who Azamat is as a striker, as a whole fighter. We're going to see if he can push, you know, potentially. I'd put it as like a fight night main event. Like, I want to see if he could push 5 rounds with Jamahal Hill.
I can see that.
And I'm pretty sure he wants a main event. Like, he said, like, yeah, Dana, give me a fight night main event. There's your fight night main event. Like, do Jamahal Hill versus Azamat and see who comes out on top. Either Azamat keeps surging up the rankings or Jamahal Hill gets a rebound fight.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I see that. I personally, so the word, when is Yuri coming back? What's the word on Yuri coming back? He's finishing school, correct?
So he needs to graduate. I would think sometime in fall. Like, I think that'd make the most sense for him.
Okay, I mean, look, I don't think Roundtree took that much damage today.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
I mean, Jamal landed a few times, powerfully, but I think that Roundtree for the most part is unscathed. As much as
I think there's like one cut like on his eyebrow, like right here, or maybe like on his eye, but
so I mean, hey, if Olberg's not gonna wait for Yuri, I was thinking you set up Khalil Roundtree and Carlos Olberg.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Khalil and Yuri.
No.
Like, whoa, that would have been a banger. But no, Roundtree and Olberg would be a banger for sure.
I think just on timeline and depending on how like early or quick they want to fight. I don't know what the situation of when Pereira versus Ankalaev 2 is. But in my opinion, I think that would be perfect because it gives, I don't know. I feel like Yuri, you know, obviously he should do whatever he's doing. That's awesome that he, you know, he's going back to school and fulfilling something that fulfilling a dream of his. But I think that, you know, Khalil versus Carlos, that would be perfect, and that would really kind of cement someone at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I mean, look, Pereira Ankalaev. Let's say Ankalaev wins. You give him Yuri. If Pereira wins, you can't give him Yuri for a third time.
Right. Like,
so,
I mean, you could. In theory, you could, but like,
and it would be, the thing is, it would be deserved too. It wouldn't even just be, they wouldn't even just be doing it to do it. It would be deserved by Yuri. But
man, I really want to see a Pereira Roundtree rematch in the future. I really think if Pereira and Khalil Roundtree were to rematch, I think Khalil would win.
I think it could happen. So that's what I'm saying. So Khalil Roundtree fights Carlos Olberg. Let's say he beats Carlos Olberg. Pereira fights Ankalaev. Let's say Pereira beats Ankalaev.
Yeah. I think that could be like
Pereira versus Roundtree.
There could be like some sort of alternate like timeline where we see this happen.
I think I'm setting it up.
Yeah, 100%.
Dana, Hunter.
Holla. I mean, we have the timeline ready. Like, we know what's going to happen. Like, we're trying to see the future here. But
and then I think Jamahal Hill should fight Jan Blachowicz.
Okay, that could be an interesting fight.
I think that would be an interesting fight. A Polish power versus Sweet Dreams. That would be interesting because Jan's a threat everywhere, man. He's a good grappler and he's just powerful.
Yeah, and I think this is a fight where they both kind of were like, I don't know how far apart in terms of timeline they were, but Jan became a champ. I think the lineage was Jan, then Yuri.
Yes.
Or no, Jan, then Glover, then Yuri.
Glover, then Yuri, yeah, then Jamal. Because
Ankalaev and Jan went to a draw. So, you know, Jamahal Hill pretty much fought for a title right after Jan Blachowicz did. So there is some interest there. I think it makes sense. I think it would be a
Jan,
good test to see where Jan is at too.
exactly. Yeah, Jan in his past 3 fights, he had the draw, then 2 decision losses. I mean, the Pereira one was split, arguably could have went either way. I saw it for Pereira, but it was very, very, very close. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. Jamahal Hill's on a 3-fight losing streak. Someone's streak got to end because they're both in the top 6 right now. Jamahal might fall, but Jamahal is definitely going to fall. It depends on how far, but I think that would be perfect for both of them. Get right fight for both of them. If Jan wants to stay active and stay at the top of his game, then take out Jamahal Hill.
Well, hey, so right now it is currently midnight for me and 3 a.m. for you.
Yes,
and I think we've done a good job of breaking down this card in all of our exhaustion. When you watch UFC cards, you really start to fatigue a little bit. Like, we try not to be off our game, but
it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Also, it sure is.
Speaking about watching UFC fights, shout out the new rights deal that's going to happen. That's bringing more Contender Series fights.
Oh, we love that.
Contender Series, great pathway for a lot of fighters to make their mark on the UFC and find gold, hopefully one day.
We love Contender Series over here in the War Room. We are not going to be mad at more Contender Series fights, but it'll be interesting to see what the media rights deal looks like going forward. But we're going to sign off for the night. Alongside Chris Shroyer, I'm Srikar Rajendran. Thank you for coming into the War Room with us. Socials down there. Go ahead and check us out. We are on X. We're on Instagram. We are on TikTok as well. And hey, this is a long one. So I think what we'll do is we're going to cut this up into 2 parts. We'll put out our John Jones spiel on its own, and then you'll have the UFC Baku matchmaking on its own. We'll find out in the other video, but we'll have 2 uploads ready for you guys, and we'll also have a nice little midweek episode for you as always. So thank you again for coming into the War Room. We're going to sign off for the night. We'll see you next time.